Hey everybody, this is John. Today I wanted to go over strategies with weighing in with the scale. Now, the scale for a lot of people can be kind of like a traumatic thing. We try to teach our people like, hey, this is one way for us to collect data, and this is kind of more towards the people that are trying to lose body fat or lose total body weight to get to where they would like to go to. But there's a couple of things that we do that kind of make it look more like data, and it kind of takes the emotion out of it. And obviously that's a learned process, and it's easier said than done. But for the most part, if the more that we can look at it as data and we can kind of measure success based off of it, okay, then we can say, then we can take that data and then we can make changes, or we can say, hey, you're doing great, keep doing what you're doing, and then you can change based off of what you're doing to make sure you're more successful. So the first thing that I would recommend people to do is, everyone says, hey, don't weigh yourself, it's only gonna put you in a bad state of mind. And it's like, well, if you don't record it and then you don't do anything with it, yeah, because there is gonna be ups and downs with the scale, and it's gonna go up and down depending on if you're a guy or a girl. If it's gonna be, up to 4 or 5 pounds a day, you can gain or lose. So that's why we're saying, hey, don't look at it, emotionally, try to look at it as data, so we want you to record it. So the first thing you can do is you can weigh in daily, okay? I want you to record down what your weight was each day, and then at the end of the week, you take the average, okay? So then hey, I weighed on average this much this week. Then the next week, when you do it again, you can record each day, okay? Put it down, take the average. Then you'll see if you're losing weight. So say you lose, half a pound from the week prior, you're like, okay, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Even though it's like this, up and down, and I see it and I'm like, crap, I'm up again, or hey, I'm down. Like the roller coaster, I guess you could say, it kind of gets evened out once you realize, oh, hey, I was doing well. So all those things don't really matter as much. And I can just take the average, and then again, you can know when you're doing not so well. If you're gained a pound from the week prior, you're like, okay, I'm eating too much. Okay, this is what we need to do. We need to go and have this strategy now. Another way to do that, and I can give you guys, if you guys send us a message with your email, I can send you the Excel file we use. But you can weigh in daily, but you record it on an Excel sheet. So we have an Excel sheet where one page you record what your weight is and the date, and then it shows you the trend. So you're gonna see all the points of your weigh-ins. Like I said, it's gonna be up and down, but there's also a trend line where you can see if you're trending down, okay, even if it's not that much, you're going in the right direction. So that's what we would recommend is, hey, we wanna see the data, you put it all in, don't worry about the ups and downs, don't worry about that. I'm more worried about the line, if it's going up or down, going in the direction that you want it to go in. And that's probably I like this the most because it's easier, it's more visual, you can actually see how much it is, and if the trend starts flattening out, you could say, hey, we're not doing what we need to do, let's revisit what you're eating, we can go from there and make changes. If you have an InBody, so we have an InBody, our members have access to it, they can do it really whenever they'd like to, but we recommend every 2 weeks, because it measures your muscle as well, not just your body weight. So these would be like on just a regular scale. We have everyone do this if they'd like. Some people do it once a month because they're looking to also see an increase in muscle, because this machine can measure how much muscle mass you have and how much body fat you have, how much fat you've lost, how much muscle you've gained, stuff like that. So with these, because it can change so much and because it takes so much longer to gain muscle, it's much more difficult. Every 2 weeks is probably the most that we would tell people to use the machine to kind of get an accurate reading of kind of like where you're going. Now, the only thing with this, sometimes it's sensitive to water, so if you do it actually after you exercise or you're much more dehydrated than the last time that you took the test, it shows you how many pounds of water you have in your body on the test. Then it can get kind of funny, but those we just say, hey, throw that out, don't worry about it, and we'll just retest again a couple days after you drink some water. That's if you can take advantage of the InBody, and we do have one. Or the last one is don't. So if it is going to be too much for you to look at the scale and say, hey, you know what, this is just like too much mental warfare that's going on, and I can't really look at this without taking emotion out of it, and I'd probably just do better if maybe I measured myself, or I just measured based off how I was doing in the gym, if I was increasing my weights, or if my clothing was getting smaller. You can have any measure of tool to success to help you whatever one that is going to work best, you should do. These are just easy ways to take a scale, which is super quick, and you can, get some data to then make some changes and go from there. It's easier for us to coach you if we have this data, and then also too, after a certain amount of time, unless you don't weigh yourself for like say 6 months, and you've had a lot of success, and you've had because you had to go down, sizes and clothes, then you weigh yourself again, you're like, oh man, I've lost 30 pounds, that's crazy. Other than that, it's hard to measure your success. So all of these work. It depends on who you are. This is what we recommend if you're doing something with the scale, trying to get more data to try to take emotion out of it as best we can, and look at yourself from the third person and say, hey, John weighs this much today. Okay, I'll record it at the end of the week. Okay, well, at the end of the week, hey, John's lost how much weight? Instead of being like internalizing it and taking it as like, hey, you're not doing enough for this or that. But these things will help, and if they don't weigh in, find another way to measure success. And if you have any questions on that, or if you're looking to get that Excel file, we'll send it to you for free. That's easy. Just shoot us a message and we'll send it to you. Take it easy. Bye.